at Vidyalankan Institute of Technology. On behalf of SESA VIT committee, I welcome you. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Abhishek, you are audible.
Yeah. So I welcome you all for today's event, which is a workshop on static website hosting using AWS S3, which stands for Simple Storage Services. I welcome the speaker, Professor Indu ma'am, Professor Indu Anup ma'am, who is an assistant professor at Vidyalankan Institute of Technology. Uh, Ma'am has also worked as software engineer at Verfo Infotech Limited. I welcome you, ma'am, and now I would request Indu Anup ma'am to take over. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you to the coordinator, Suja ma'am and Sneha ma'am. Uh, and uh, I'd like to share my screen for today and we'll start the session. Um, just let me know if my screen desktop is visible. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea behind today is to actually host a static website using just a storage service. Okay, so generally what we have when we host a website, we require a server, and you could be using GoDaddy or any of this where if you're hosting a website, domain name registration and the final hosting will cost you up to 4,000 plus, right? For a year. So instead of that, why not go for something which is like cloud computing, where you have AWS and go ahead and use something which is a storage service. That means I'm not buying a server, I'm just using a simple storage, just like having a pen drive, and I'm hosting a complete website out of it. Okay, and the best part is this is one of the cheapest services, which just cost around 48 rupees in a month. That's it. Okay, so that's the best part about this. So to do our task today is to just have a simple static website on Amazon S3. And to do this, we have two things that is required. One is the storage service, which is S3. Okay, now in S3, there's something called as buckets. Okay, so we'll be looking into what the buckets is. We'll be creating a bucket, which is nothing a storage unit in S3. And we'll have something which is called as a Route 53. Now, Route 53 is used to convert from your DNS, which is nothing but your what do you say, naming system, where www.example.com, and it routes you to the back to a DNS resolver, which converts it to an IP address, and the website is visible to the end user. Okay, so this domain name system, where we have for this, we use this Route 53. Okay, there are different routing policies, but we'll stick with the simplest one, which is simple routing. Okay, uh, that performs a function for your single domain. Okay, so we are only consisting of one bucket which we are going to consider. Okay, so let's start. So we'll go directly with the demonstration, because others will be running out of time. So first, what we require is your AWS account. Okay, now those of you who do not have your AWS account, you'll have to create your AWS account. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go to console.aws.amazon.com. Okay, I'll post it in the chat box. Okay, now if you do not have an account, you can create one. It will ask for your credentials, and as well as a debit card details, for which you will be deducted 2 rupees. Okay, which is also refunded within a 1 week period. Okay, if you do not have that, you can use the AWS Educate account. Okay, for that they will not ask you for your debit card details. So either way, you can log in, and once you are inside your console, it will look something like this. So how does it look like? Once I go to the console over here, you will be asked to do a sign up. Once the sign up, so since I'm already signed up, it will look something like this. Okay, now I have my S3 service I have already used. So, or you can search for over here as your S3 service. Okay, now the idea behind creating a static website, the first thing is that you're going to create a we're going to have a bucket. Okay, so first step one is we're going to create an S3 bucket, which is going to act as a storage for what all our website files. Okay, now these website files can be what? Your .html files. Okay, now since we're talking about static websites consist of your UI, which is a .html, your images, okay, PDFs, anything of this. Okay, static websites do not consist of a database. Now if you want to host a website which is having a database, I'll show you that as well towards the end. Okay, now how do we have once we now the problem here is when we create an S3 bucket, the nomenclature or the naming system of the S3 bucket is that the name should be exactly that of the domain name. That means what? Suppose I'm hosting a website www.example.com. Okay, this is my website which I want to be hosted. Then in that case, I have to create my first bucket name as example.com. Okay, this should be my nomenclature for an S3 bucket. An S3 bucket nomenclature does not start with a capital letter. Please remember, because the domain name also does not consist of capital letters. Okay, so first of all, what we are doing to do backtracking, because we need to have the same as the domain name. So first what we need a domain name. Now either you can purchase a domain name, or you can go to any one of this freenom.com or any free hosting websites where you can register your domain name. Okay, so once you are signed into any one of these services, okay, so I'll sign in over here. So the one I'm using is freenom.com. Okay, I'll just post it in the chat window, freenom.com. If you're confused anyway, you can just let me know and I'll help you there. Okay, so once you're here, and I'm going to log in using my Gmail account. So first thing, since we need to create a bucket, the name has to be the domain name. I'll go over here. I want to register a new domain. Okay, once I've registered a new domain, I have to first search whether the domain is actually available. Okay, so now today's workshop is Indu demo, and I'm going to say Sesa. Okay, and I'm going to check the availability for this particular domain name. Okay, now there are these free hosting ones which are there. I'll go with CF, which looks pretty okay for me, and I'll write get it now. Once I've selected this domain name, I'll check out. Okay, now you can go ahead and use it for 12 months up to 1 year for free, this particular free domain. So I'll choose to 12 months and I'll click on continue. Okay, remember the domain name is now selected. I'll complete the order. It's asking me to accept the terms and conditions, and I'll complete my order. So I have registered a free domain right now. Okay, now I'll go to services and I'll go to my domains. Okay, since I purchased that domain for free. Okay, this is my domain indudemosesa.cf. Okay, now I'll click on this manage domain button over here. Okay, manage domain. Once I click on this, okay, I'll get my entire registration is done and expiry date is up to next year. Okay, this particular domain name, this is my domain. Now what I need to copy this name, and with the same name I need to create a storage bucket, right? That is the first step. The same name as that of the domain which I want to host my website on. Okay, so I'll go to my S3 management console. Okay, I'll choose my S3 service over here. If you do not know, you can search it over here. Once you're here at your buckets over here, you need to create a new bucket, right? So I'm going to click go ahead and create a new bucket. Okay, like I told you before, what is it? The name, the nomenclature should be the same as that of the website which you are hosting. Okay, so in this case, I'll paste the name which I have, bucket name indudemosesa.cf. Okay, remember, do not write www dot. Okay, do not write that, only write the one which is there over here. Okay, once you're done over here, now go for a region such as Mumbai. Okay, now if you test in other regions, the sometimes the website takes time in and turning up fast. So I'll go for Asia Pacific Mumbai as my region for my storage. Okay, once I've chosen that, now what am I putting inside this bucket? Inside this bucket, I'm actually storing the website. right? Now this website should be visible to the entire internet, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, instead of blocking all public access, I'm going to uncheck this. That means I'm going to allow everybody to see my website. Okay, I'll acknowledge the current session settings by checking the box. Okay, now once I've done with that, I'll go ahead and just directly create the bucket. Okay, there is a space over here, so I'll just go back, copied a space, create bucket. Okay, so now your bucket is ready. Okay, the first bucket is ready. Okay, now I told you there is only one bucket over here, but actually for a website to be up, you require two buckets, because when you have a URL, okay, people could be writing example.com, or they could be writing www.example.com. Okay, now if a person or a user types www.com, that person must be redirected to the files which we have uploaded in the bucket of example.com, right? The user who types www.example.com should be redirected to the domain name this, in which I have hosted by bucket, right? So right now my bucket name is what? Indu demo sesa.cf. Okay, .com is going to cost me money, so I'm not going with .com. I'm going to go with a free domain. Okay, so once I'm done with this, the next thing that I want, I have already given what permission is, what? Full access. Full access I already give. Public, everybody can see the contents of this, because that's what I want. My website should be public to everybody, right? Now another thing that I want is a bucket policy. Okay, a bucket policy. Bucket policy is something like called as permissions. Okay, now in order to change these bucket policies, we need to go to the permissions tab, okay, of that particular bucket. So let's go to the permissions tab of the bucket. Okay, so which is our bucket? Indu demo sesa.cf. So I'll click on this. Okay, now see over here, there's something called as permissions tab. Once I click on the permissions tab, okay, there is something which is called as bucket policy. Okay, now what I'll do, I already have a bucket policy set up for another bucket. I'll copy that and I'll come back and paste it over here. Okay, it's similar for all buckets, so I'm just copying it and pasting it for our bucket or storage service. Okay, permissions, go to the permissions tab, and here you can see something called as bucket policy. There's an edit button over here. Click on the edit button and paste the policy over here. Okay, now the policy which is there, I'll paste it in the chat window over here, which I have pasted for my. So right now this is V hackathon of the hackathon, but you can put whatever one you want. Okay, based on what is the domain which you are purchasing. Okay. Okay, so basically this is telling us that allow the user, okay, to only read the contents of the file, right? I do not want the person to edit the code which I have pasted inside this bucket. Okay, the user who is there accessing this bucket on the internet should only be able to read and should not be allowed to write. Okay, so that is why we are giving the statement ID, which is saying that it should be only a public read access. Okay, now my resource is what is the name of my bucket? Is nothing but Indu demo. Okay, I think it's over here. Okay, so we'll paste the same client name here. I copied it here. Remember, we are not dealing with www as of now yet. Remove the space and we'll go ahead and save this. Okay, save the bucket policy. Okay, so now we have given read access to all the content so that the user can see the files which are there on the in the bucket. Okay, now once this bucket is ready, I told you there should be one more bucket, right? Step 2, create your second bucket. Okay, what is the second bucket? Second bucket, or the S3 bucket, should be the one with the www. Okay, so what is this www bucket which is there? What it does, it should not have, you're not store, it's not used for storage, it is used for redirection. It is used for redirection to what? To your S3 bucket, which you created previously, which is having all the files. Okay, anybody types www, it should redirect to the first bucket, which is that. So we are doing a redirection policy. We are not hosting. This bucket is used for hosting and this bucket is used for redirection. Okay, so we'll create our second bucket right now. Okay, so we'll go back. Amazon S3, we'll go back. Okay, we'll create a new bucket. So now what will be my name? Same as my domain, but I'm going to give www dot. Okay, remember, do not make a mistake in the bucket name. If you make a mistake in the bucket name, you cannot deletion of the bucket and recreation will cause problems. Okay, so try to not make any spelling mistake when you're creating a bucket name. Okay, same region, Mumbai, I'll give. Okay, now this is used for redirection, right? Now, if this is used for redirection, the last one which is blocked, which is cross account access to bucket, right? This bucket should go to what? Redirect to the first bucket which you have given. So what I'll do, I'll uncheck this. Okay. All other things should be blocked because isme code kuch nahi hai. We are not pasting any code over here, right? There is no code inside this particular bucket. This bucket is only used for redirection purpose. That is the only sole purpose of this. So I will do one thing. I will not block the cross account access to bucket. This I will allow by not checking this. Okay. So I'm going to allow this particular feature. Okay. I'll acknowledge my changes. And then I'll go ahead and click on create bucket. Okay, created the bucket. Now the thing is, how do I ensure that this redirection happens? Okay, now when I click on this, the one which I clicked over here, okay, so you can see over here, the objects and bucket is actually not public. So I'll click on this, the one which I created right now. Okay, here. So now I'm going to do what? The next thing that I'm going to do, step 3, is the functionalities. What is the functionality of the first bucket? It is used for hosting, correct? What is the functionality of the second bucket? It is used for redirection. Okay, so I'm going to make that functionality. So I'll go to my first bucket. The first bucket, I'll click on this. I'll go to the properties. Once I go to the properties, go towards the end. Okay. And here you can see static website hosting. Right now it is disabled. Now I want to enable because I'm first functionality bucket should be for hosting. So what I'll do, I'll edit it and I'll make it enabled. And what do I want to use it? The first bucket is used for hosting the static website, not for redirect. So do not select this. The first bucket should always be host a static website. Now, when you have a static website, generally you have your first page. You need to tell which is the first page which is going to be loaded. Okay, so I'm going to go with index.html, which is my UI. Okay, HTML UI. I can go ahead and write some dummy error.html, which I don't have, but still I can say that this is going to be the error document in case an error happens. Okay. So my website's first page is index.html. I'm going to claim. I can write anything I want, home.html, but make sure it is actually home.html in your code. Okay. And I click and save changes. So now this one's functionality is added for the first bucket. Now, which is the second bucket is what? Is used for redirection purpose. So I'll go to my second bucket. I'll go to my second bucket over here, which is my second bucket. So this is my first bucket. I have already done the hosting part, right? Property change. Now this is used for redirection. Anybody who types this in the URL should be redirected to the index.html, which is inside this bucket, right? So I'll go over here into www.indudemosesa.cf. Okay, change the properties of this. Change the properties of this, and just like before, I'm not going to use it for static website hosting. I'm going to use it for redirection. So what I'll do, I'll edit this property. I'll enable static website hosting, but the purpose is not for hosting the code. It is used only for redirection to some other bucket. Now, Now here we have to tell which bucket we want to redirect to. Okay, so we want to redirect to Indu demo sesa.cf. Okay, ww1 should redirect to the bucket which is having no ww. Okay, once you're done with this, now here you can either go ahead and choose your protocol. Okay, I'm giving none. None is nothing but by default it takes HTTP protocol. Okay, for your website, like HTTP colon www, like that, / and all that. Okay, or you can go ahead and choose HTTPS. Okay, HTTPS is if you want a certificate. Okay, now to how to get that I will tell you, but right now we are not going for a secure connection because it will cost me money, but I will show you also how it is done in case you want to do that in future. Okay, a secure connection. So right now I'm going with none, which will by default take HTTP, and I'll click on save changes. Okay, so now my buckets configuration is done, my functionalities are done, everything is set up. Okay, now once I'm done with this, now let's test it a little bit. Okay, mm, first of all, one thing, I did not put any code inside this, right? Inside my first bucket, this bucket, right? This is the one in which the one without the www, the one which is public and viewable by all the users on the internet. Inside this, I have to put my code of my website. Okay, so here there's an option for upload. Okay, so I'll click on upload. Okay, and I have to drop some files. Okay, now I'll click on add file. Okay, desktop. I think I have file. No, I don't have a file, so I'll just create a file right now. Okay, just go to your notepad and just write an HTML code. Uh, okay, now what do I have to save it as? File save as index.html. Remember, we had written there that the bucket will first page which is going to be visible is the index.html. Okay, click on all files so that it takes .html, and I click and I saved it on the desktop. Okay, okay, I can drag and drop also, or I can add files over here. Desktop, can I see an index.html. Okay, click on open. Okay, now this particular file is now uploaded. Okay, if you want bucket versioning, you can do that. I'm not interested in that right now. Okay, so and I can click on upload. So my file is now uploaded. Okay, okay, now let's go back to our S3. Okay, so go to the properties tab over here of that bucket, the bucket where public access is given for reading and all the code is there. It is inside objects. Inside the objects you can see the code which is there uploaded over here, index.html. Go to the properties tab, and there you can scroll down. You can see there is a bucket website endpoint which is created. Okay, I'll click on this. See, now actually my static website is now hosted up on the internet. It is totally up. The code which I posted, hi, this is a SESA workshop, is now actually hosted on AWS. Okay, now this website, similar to this, if you could see, there are like suppose Coursera, right? Coursera, if you see all the files, all the assignments which you are posting, if you see the URL properly, you can see Coursera assessment.s3.amazon.aws.com. It is actually using the S3 bucket. So it's saving a lot of money, right? Coursera is saving a lot of money by using S3 buckets instead of actually having a server to host. They're actually just using small buckets of storage to host their website, right? So this is saving them a lot of money. Okay, so our website is up and about now. Now the question comes, step 4. Okay, now our website is up, our static website is up, but what about the domain name? Okay, what about our domain name, right? we had given one nice fancy domain we had purchased over here, indudemo.cf, but वो तो दिख ही नहीं रहा है यहाँ पे, correct? We are seeing some very, इधर तक it is there, the domain we want, but it's giving us some S3 and all website, and the region which we are in, Asia Pacific South 1 is the region for Mumbai, right? And Amazon AWS.com. Now we don't want all this fancy nomenclature associated with our website, right? We want to remove that. That is where our Route 53 comes into play. Okay, so let's do one thing. We will go to our Route 53 right now. Okay, so we're going to go to our Route 53. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to services. I'm going to Route 53. Okay, since it's recently visited, I'm selecting over here from the services. You can search over here as well. So I'll go to my Route 53. Once I'm done going to my Route 53, you see this DNS. DNS is domain name service. You can actually do the mapping over here. Okay, now suppose I remember I told you we went to Freenom and got a domain, right? We purchased a free domain using this. AWS also allows you to register a domain and buy, but the problem is it does not give you free domains. .com, .edu, all this, you know, what is it? Not .edu, I don't think so. .in, okay, these are all available over here. So if you want to register through AWS a domain, you can do that over here. Right now I've used Freenom because I wanted a free domain to be for your demo purpose. Okay, now what we need to go to is DNS management, because we want the domain which we have specified to be visible in the website. Okay, so I'll come over here, click on this hosted zones. Okay, now I have other hosted zones set up. I'll create my own right now. Okay, the only condition is, okay, the only condition is right now Route 53, what are we going to do? Hosted zone. It should be what? The name of the hosted zone should be the name of my bucket, right? Where my code is, static code of the website, right? So what is my domain name? indudemo.cf. Okay, don't put the www as usual. Do not put the www. Okay, once I'm done with the domain name which I want to be visible, then I'll go ahead and create this domain name. Okay, okay, now my domain name is up. Okay, now what we need is we need to do a redirection. What do you mean by redirection? Now this particular domain is handled by whom? Freenom website, right? Freenom is the hosting service which is actually handling this particular domain name. I'm not putting my code here. They are not giving me a hosting service. My hosting, everything is happening through a bucket, a storage system which is there in AWS, right? Now what I need, a domain which I purchased from Freenom, I want it to be mapped to that in AWS. Okay, now AWS have given me name services which are there. Okay, in order to do that, what I'll do, whatever AWS name service is there, I'll copy this. Okay, there are four services: .com, .net, .org, .co.uk related to this particular one. Okay, these are name services. Okay, so names, I'll go to this over here to Freenom. You see over here there's something called as management tools. So when I click on management tools, you'll see something called as name servers. So I'll click on name servers. Now Freenom has its own default name servers. Now I do not want to use Freenom at all now. I want AWS to manage everything related to my domain which I purchased. Okay, so I'll click on use custom name servers. Okay, and what are my custom name servers with respect to AWS? These four. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the first one, paste it over here. Okay, I'm going to copy the second one, paste it over here. I'll copy the third one, which is the .NET one. So what I'm doing is I'm telling Freenom that now you don't handle this domain, let AWS take over. So I'm going to click on change name servers. Okay, once I'm done with this, okay, Once I'm done with the hosted zone, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a record set. Okay, now record set is used to map to which bucket which I want this what I have the hosted zone to map to a particular bucket. Okay, so for that I'm going to create a record set. I'll click on create record set. The first bucket which I have is this is the this domain should actually redirect. I'll give an alias for it. It should actually go to where my Indu demo, the S3 website endpoint, the one which I have shown over here, right? See this endpoint here. This endpoint will be visible now as my alias target. I want this, any person who types this should be redirected to this particular bucket. So I'll select this. Routing policy, I already told you in the PPT, we are going to go with routing policy as simple routing policy. Other ones are more complicated, which you can learn on your own. This is related to multiple regions like Mumbai, and you want to go other regions and all if you want to select. Okay, so we're not going ahead into much details on that. Right now, I'll choose my endpoint, and then I'll choose the routing policy as simple, and I'll click on create. Okay, once I'm done with this, now I need to create one more record set. Which one? www. Okay, www dot indudemosesa.cf. Okay, now here also I'll give an alias. Yes, I want to give an alias. Where do I want this to be targeted? I want it to target to the bucket which is starting with www.indudemosesa.cf. Okay, so I'll select this. Now my routing policy is going to be the same, simple, and I'll click on create. Okay, so my routing policies, everything is done. My AW route 53 is also done. Okay. Now it will take some time for it to propagate. Okay, there you have it. Our exact static website is up and running in no time. The entire what you have it, the entire thing which you have, the domain name which Freenom was managing is now entirely managed by AWS. You have an entire static website which is hosted on AWS. Same thing which is your vHackathon website, right? Which was there, which is already just concluded recently, is actually hosted on AWS S3 buckets. Okay, so if you can see the code over here of vHackathon, I have two buckets here, one for vhackathon.cf, which is the same as the domain name which I have over here, and the other one is www.vhackathon.cf, which is redirecting anybody who comes over here and types www.vhackathon should also be redirected to vhackathon.cf bucket, in which my entire code is hosted over here. Okay, so you can see the bucket. If I open the vhackathon.cf, nothing will be there in the www. It is just used for redirection. But the .cf one without the www is the one where the code is. Okay, so I have the code for my website hosted over here. Okay, so you can drag and drop and upload the entire folder. You can drag and drop over here. You can delete any files. If I want the problem statements PDF over here, if I want to delete, it'll ask for a confirmation message, and then you can go ahead and delete some codes. Okay, so this is how you host a static website using AWS. Does anyone have a doubt? If you want any knowledge on how to host a dynamic website, then it's a little different ball game altogether. If you have any doubt, you can ask me right now. Any doubt in how the setup happened right now? Anyone has any doubt? You can post in the chat window also. I can take your doubts.
Indu ma'am,
Yes.
some of the students are preparing their web mini project in web design lab. So
Okay.
they have created it using either on XAMPP or else they have used Django framework. So
Okay.
they have a database also. So if possible, if you could
Yes.
show a demo of that, then it will
Oh,
be helpful.
okay, sure, sure. So if you want, you have a database and you are okay with purchasing a server, which in my case also free tier for 1 year you can go for a low configuration server you can purchase from AWS. So which is also fine, which is for free for 1 year. So you can actually host your projects there also. So for that you're not going to use an S3 bucket. If you're going for a dynamic website, you are going to use Amazon EC2. Okay, Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and use that. So for the services, you go ahead and use EC2 over here. Okay, so we are dealing with virtual service on the cloud. Okay, so right now, now the thing is, depending on your account, sometimes some places the instance may not be launched. Okay, so I'm going ahead and choosing any region which you want your server to be launched. You can choose that. So I have not chosen Mumbai because I'm having restrictions in choosing Mumbai. So what I have to go to support and ask for permissions for launching a server in Mumbai. Okay, I can go ahead and go choose Ohio or North Virginia. So I'll go ahead and choose North Virginia and I'll click on EC2 launch instance. Okay, so first let me just see in Ohio if I have any instance running. I have one running instance, one server running. So I'll do one thing. I'll delete the server. Okay. So how if I have a server running, I can just go ahead, click on the actions, instant state, and I'll terminate the server which is already there. Why I'm doing this, I'll tell you the reason why. Because my account, which is very brand new account, okay, sometimes they do not allow more than one server in a free tier account. Okay, so what you have to do, you can go to the support center over here and request for more number of servers to be allowed for your account. Okay, so right now for demo purpose, I'm deleting the account, the server which I have, and I'm going to do one more. Okay, you can instead go and choose another region, and वहां पे you can create a new server also. वैसे भी कर सकते हैं. Okay. Ma'am, for how much time, Bhargav is asking for how much time we get the domain from Freenom. I told you right now, you can get it for 12 months. That is like 1 year free. Okay, 1 year you can have it for free. I think I already covered that. Okay, so I've terminated the server. I'll go back to where we were, EC2 dashboard, so that you know how where we are starting. So I'm going to choose Ohio, okay, as my region in the United States, and I'm going to click launch the instance or a virtual server. Okay, now you can go ahead and choose whichever server you want to host your website or your project on. Okay, so just make sure you click on this free tier only, because what happens is free tier eligible ones are not going to cost you any money for a year since creation of the account. Okay, so I'm going to go with the first one, which is Amazon Linux to AMI. Okay, you can choose Ubuntu, Windows, whichever server you want, you can choose machine. This is nothing but a virtual machine which I'm selecting. Okay, so I'll click on select. Okay, once I know which machine I want, okay, I have the different types of the one. So right now I'm going to go with one CPU, virtual CPU. vCPU stands for one virtual CPU, 1 GB RAM, memory, sorry. Okay, and I'm going to go with free tier eligible. Only one option is there in the server type. Okay, so you go with this default one, click on configure instance details. Okay, then let this be default as it is. Click on add storage, let this also be add as it is. Okay, so here it is dealing with SSD. Okay, and let this also be, let everything be default. Just keep pressing next, 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 next. Okay, now the only thing is here you have to change something in terms of security group. Right now, when you transfer certain files, you are using a secure connection, right, through TCP. For that we have this port range 22. Remember, port 22 is used for secure socket. Okay, now I'm going to add one more rule over here, because why we are hosting a website on the server. If you're hosting a website, the first thing that we need is what? HTTP, right? HTTP is the protocol that is used for our website launch, right? So we're going to go ahead and choose HTTP over here. Yeah. Okay, I'll go ahead and choose HTTP. Let everything be as default. HTTP uses port 80. And what this 00 means is that it is accessible to anybody anywhere through the internet. Okay, and I'll click on review and launch. Okay, and I'll click on launch. Okay, now choose an existing key pair, or you can create a new key pair. Okay, now I already have this key pair is like the security private key which is there for your server. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new key pair. In your case, you will always get create a new key pair if your account is brand new. Okay, so I'll give a name, Indu. What is the other one? What is demo? Sesa. Demo Sesa. Okay, Hindu Demo Sesa. I'll just give the same name, and I'll just give the name for my key which is understood by me only, and I click on download key pair. Okay, so now this is accessible, your secret key for accessing your server. Okay, this is in the form of a .pem file. Okay, now this pem file is to be retained with you. Okay, it's a private key file, and now I'm going to launch the instance, launch my server basically. Okay, once you have your server is launched, you can click on the name over here, and you can see instance states. Now states nothing but server has goes through multiple different phases. You can say pending state, where it is actually what is actually happening behind the scenes is it actually assigning these IP address to this particular server for it to be visible on the internet, accessible basically. Okay, so once it comes instance status into running, then we are actually the server is up and running. Okay, in the server you can put your database, your HTML code, whatever you want, you can put it in the server. Okay, so now it is in running state. Correct. Now what we need, say suppose I want to connect to this particular server. Okay, now to connect to this particular server, what I will use is a putty service. Okay, I can use that, or I can go ahead, which is nothing but an SSH system. Okay, so what I will do, I will try to see there's an option for connect. So I'll select this. I'll select the, you can select and uncheck whichever one you want. I'll select and I click on connect. Okay, either you can use a standalone SSH client, or you can use an EC2 instance connect. Okay, so I'll go choose the EC2 instance connection is used for browser based connection to the. So now since it is a Linux based system, it is EC2 is the default username. EC2 dash user is for Linux based systems. If you had a set up a Ubuntu system, then your default username for your machine would have been Ubuntu. Okay, so by default it picks up EC2 user, and I'll click on connect. Okay, so now I'm connected to my server which is on the cloud. Okay, my virtual server you can say. Okay, so here I can do a sudo yum update to update my server first, because before I install anything I need to update my server. Click on yes. Why? Okay, now what I need, if I was having a local host on my system, right, if I was making my system, my actual this system into what is a server, I needed Apache installed on it, right? Similarly, if I'm having a server host on the cloud, right, I require Apache to be inside it. In your case, XAMPP, right, you have to install XAMPP. So I'll just install Apache and I'll just show the web page just popping up. Or you can install XAMPP, you can install MySQL as whatever you want, you can install. Okay, you just have to search for the commands for installation. Okay, so in my case, I'll just install the server and I'll just show you. Yum install. Okay, HTTP is D is nothing but Apache, and it'll anyway ask me for a yes, so I'll already give it along with the command. Okay. So whatever one you want, you can install. You can install MySQL, you can install XAMPP, you can install PHP, whatever it is. Just search for the command which is corresponding to it. The Linux command for installation of that into your into your virtual machine, you could say. Okay. So once that is installed, I'll go ahead and start my Apache service. Okay, I think it started. Okay, so it is up and running. Okay, so you can see the IP address which is there over here, your instance over here, your public IP address. You copy that into a browser, and in this IP address you have your Apache installed. Similarly, you can install XAMPP, you can install SQL separately if you want. In XAMPP, obviously everything comes into play. So whatever it is, you can install. It's just like having a machine right now. Only thing, I'm accessing this machine through what? Through this console. That is the only difference. Okay. Now suppose I want to say check the console, check if everything is working. Okay. Now in this HTTPD or Apache, what happens is there is a folder in which we have to put our what do you say, our code files. Okay, just how in your local machine, say suppose in my C drive program files, I have my Apache over here, right? If it is in Windows system, it is in web apps. You can see the hackathon, what is it? vHackathon code which I have over here. I'm testing on my local host over here, right? So it's inside web apps of my Windows system, right? Similarly, in a Linux based system, the code is in Apache is actually stored inside var www/html. Okay, inside this particular folder. Okay, so I'll go into that folder, and now I need to allow the user to transfer files into this particular folder. Now read write access is not provided, so we are going to allow an owner. Which owner? Read write access. Okay, to which owner? The user name. EC2 user is the user who is going to access this particular machine. Which folder we want to give access to? var www/html. Okay, I'll give a sudo. Okay, once I'm done with this, now I'm going to do, I have done what? I have given read write access to the user. Now I'm going to allow the read write permissions, which is nothing but 755 is the value for that user, and the permissions is done. Okay, now I have to paste my code or my website or web page or database code, whatever it is. Your database code would be what? Ending with .sql or whatever it is. Jo bhi hai, it should go inside this particular folder. Now, how to access this particular folder, right? Now, the best thing is to access this particular folder. What we can do is we can go to our server over here. I'll copy this, okay, IP. I'll go to FileZilla. Okay, FileZilla is a you can use FileZilla, you can use Windows SCP, WinSCP also. Okay, this is nothing but an SSH transfer system, FTP basically. So we're going to use SFTP because we are using secure file transfer protocol. So this FileZilla helps us to transfer files from where our local site or nothing but our local machine to a remote site which is nothing but the server which is hosted on AWS. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new file, site manager. Okay, new site I want. Okay, so sesa underscore, I'm going to say Indu demo. Okay, the name of my site. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do SSH, right? Remember when I created the server, I had used SSH and HTTP. So I'm going to use SSH file transfer protocol. Okay, my host IP of my server and SSH port number was 22. Okay, ask for you. What is the username? EC2-user is the default one, correct? And I'll click on connect. Okay, now the problem is there is no password associated when a default server. Okay, now problem is connection will not establish. Always trust this. Okay, connection will not establish because you remember what I told you. There is a PEM file which has to be. Without the access to this PEM file, it will search. It will not allow me to connect to the server. So what I'll do, I'll click on this edit button over here. Okay, I'll go to settings. Okay, now in SFTP over here, there are other keys which I have imported. Okay, I need to add the key file, which one? The one I just created. Remember, I had downloaded a key which is used to private key, which is used to access my server, which is there on the cloud, right? So I'm going to choose my indudemosesa.pem. I'll click on open and I'll click on OK. Okay, so once I click on OK, and now let me try to connect to InduDemo. Okay, there's no password. Let's hope it works. Otherwise, let's see. Okay, so now we have access to a remote server, nothing but a server, virtual server, which is there on the cloud. Okay, I hope you all understood till here. Now what we need to see where is that VAR. Okay, so if I go to this directory over here, there is a VAR over here. Expand that. There's a www. Expand that. And inside www, you have your HTML. Understood? So in this HTML, suppose I want to say, I want to go what? I want to put the code which I had just put over here right now. In my case, where is it? Somewhere on the desktop, right? Desktop may we had an index.html, index.html, this one. Okay, I'll drag this into my virtual server. It's asking me for the password. I do not have a password, so I'll click on OK. Transfer file finished. Now my website is up. Okay, so let's see. Ta-da, we have our website up and running, right? Now here you can transfer whatever you want. You have a XAMPP. What if you want XAMPP, you can install the XAMPP through the console over here. Okay, install XAMPP. Your HTML files, your CSS files, your style sheet, your .db, .sql files, everything, your entire project folder, just drag it and drop it into this HTML folder over here. And your project is up and running. You will see your website up over here. If you have a login page will be visible. The entire connection to the SQL, everything will happen successfully. I hope it's clear. It's very simple. Just the entire thing, you just have to use something like this to transfer all your files from your local system, your project files from wherever you have in your device, and drag it and drop it into your folder, which is nothing but VAR. Inside VAR, inside that www, and then inside that HTML. Okay, this is the procedure. If you have any server, whether it be what do you say, whether it be Linux based, Ubuntu based, Windows based, whatever be it, you will be able to access it. Okay, any doubt? Anybody has any doubt, you can ask me. If you want to know something else, you can ask me that as well. Anyone has any doubt?
Students, if you have any doubt, you can raise the, put it on chat or unmute yourself and ask. We have a lot of students from outside VIT also, Vidyalankar also.
Okay.
I could see a lot of outside your organization being written. So is there any doubt regarding this? You will be getting the recording of it. It will be there on the chat box.
Mm. I'll tell you some common doubts which I get generally from students regarding this. The first doubt being is that how do you get the secure? So their website is up, everything is done fine, right? The domain name you'll have to purchase, okay? Then you can map it using the same process. What is it? Using the same process which I mentioned over here, okay? Now the problem is, suppose you have a server over here, okay? One question is which students ask me is, ma'am, what will happen to the IP if I shut down the server? Okay, will the IP change or it's going to stay same? Okay, in my case, if I stop the server and then start it, the IP will change. Okay, if the IP changes, the entire setup which I've mentioned over here, all the everything will change again, right? So IP changes when I stop the server and start again. Okay, so in that case, what I can do, if I stop this right now and I start it again, you will see the IP has changed. So in that case, you can go ahead and choose an elastic IP over here. Okay, elastic IP means what? Even if I shut down the server and restart it, I am associating an IP specifically for my server. So I can go ahead to this elastic IP and allocate a new IP address specifically for my server. Okay, so anytime so here you can choose allocate new address from an Amazon pool. It will select an IP address, allocate it to my instance. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. This is just for your information. Okay, in that case, if I restart my server, suppose I had to stop my server, say generally what happens when you have an EC2 instance, right? What you do is, right now billing will happen after you have crossed 1 year, right? Now suppose you don't want to do that, you want to stop this particular server. I'll just click on this, go to actions, instance state, and stop. Okay, and I'll click on stop. That means my server is now stopped and no more billing will happen at all, but my entire configuration retains. If I do terminate, that means entire configuration, whatever I install, Apache, whatever it is, it will get wiped out. Okay, in this case, I'm just stopping. That means I don't want the billing to happen. I'm not using it for some time. Okay, so in cloud you can have something which is called as CloudWatch. In CloudWatch, what you can do is you can actually program the server to run only between working times. Like if you have a multinational company, right, where they're paying by the hour for the server, right? If you're paying by the hour, you would rather have the server up and running for a specific amount of time, and then probably you can shut down during non-peak times and have only few servers which is there. You call it as load balancing. Some loads you can keep it open, and the other backup servers or the cluster servers you can stop it and keep, so that you save up on money. Okay, so these are some of the few questions which generally I get asked. Okay, so if you have an elastic IP associated, then even if you stop the server and you start it again, you will still be able to retain the IP which you got if you had associated the elastic IP over here. Okay, any doubt?
I
Okay,
guess
so I think there is no doubt. I hope everyone is clear. Everybody understood.
yes, yes. You have explained it very nicely, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you for inviting me, actually.
No, no, it's our pleasure to have you in our meeting, because this is one of the thing which every computer IT electronics every students are looking for, because hosting a website on any other platform like GoDaddy or something like that
Yeah, yeah.
cost a
Actually,
lot.
I had hosted. If you see the conference website of the college, I had done it on GoDaddy, and it cost
Okay.
around 4,000 plus. And then I came to know that this AWS is much more cheaper. You can actually host it in just 48 rupees for this static
And
website.
and is it, ma'am, valid for 1 year? That website will be up for 1 year. Is it like that
48
or?
rupees,
Huh.
yes, yes. 48 rupees per month for an entire year, which is nothing,
Okay,
basically.
okay. Yes, of course, of course. It is nothing. Seriously, where the 4,000 and where lies the 48 rupees?
Yeah,
So
yes, yes.
there is no comparison itself. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot for sharing us with this technique of hosting the website, and not only justifying how to host the static website, you also demonstrated how to go with the dynamic one, with one which is having a database connectivity and so on. That's
Yes.
very nice, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And
Thank you all for listening patiently.
yes, yes. And being the convener of SESA committee, Vidyalankar Institute, I would like to thank all the participants, organizer, and hearty thanks to speaker Indu ma'am for spending time with us within this short time. You have explained all the important points which every budding engineer would like to know, and also putting light on how AWS is useful, because nowadays people are turning and creating any application, they would like to host it so that world could see it, and
Yes.
this is the best place, I feel so. So
Yes.
thanks a lot, ma'am.
In fact, I'd like to just close in by just telling everybody to join AWS Educate, where they can register as a student. So entire Vidyalanka students can access AWS for resources, $75 per account. You'll get free credits. So you can use that. So I'm the CPOC for AWS actually for the college. So
Okay.
you, any
Oh,
doubt, you can reach out to me. You can register here first, and then any issues, you can reach out to me at any time. Thank you.
oh, thanks a lot, ma'am, to go know about it. Indu ma'am is from IT department of Vidyalankar Institute. So anyone, if you want to reach out to her, you can put a ping on her through her email ID, and you can also reach out to us, and we will let the queries discussed with Indu ma'am and let you know the solutions for the same. And now, as a concluding part, I would like Abhishek, can you put up the feedback link on the chat box so that student can fill up the feedback also?
Yes, ma'am. I have already posted it.
Yes, you have posted. Okay. If possible, everyone can switch on their video so that we could take a quick picture of the event. I could still waiting for people to join in. Bit shy to start the video.
It's late evenings. Everybody's
Late evening. That's true. That's true. Okay. Ma'am.
Thank you,
Okay.
Abhishek. Thank you, Shraddha, for your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is it possible to take now? Wait. Huh? How many have switched on? I just want to see that. Okay. Say cheese.
Jeez.
Nice to join in so late, and that too for such an informative session. I know people are like having multiple options available, then too so many have joined. That's good to see. Wait,
Yes, of
I will
course.
just. Okay, ठीक है, हो गया.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you, Suja ma'am. Thank you, Sneha ma'am.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Okay
Thank you.
then, I I conclude the session. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye bye. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.